Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thank you for joining me once again here on Talk and Fight for another episode of Boxing News Headlines. And there's certainly a lot flying around my screens this morning. But let's start off with a bit of news out of America, specifically Don King, who has added 6 fights to his undercard, taking place on January 21st. 2 championship fights are among the 6 undercard clashes that are part of Let Freedom Ring, Clash of the Champions. It's a boxing spectacular presented by Don King Promotions, taking place at the Casino Miami Jai on Saturday, January 21st. The boxing promoters put together another super sensational card, he says, headlined by WBA, NABA, Gold Heavyweight Championship as Jonathan Guidry, 18-1-2. 10 knockouts out of Dulac, Louisiana, is set to defend his title against former WBC heavyweight champ Bermain Stavern. He's 25-5-1, by the way, 21 knockouts at fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, via Canada, I might add. Doors are open at 6 p.m. and the action begins at 7 p.m., so that's Eastern time. Guidry is coming off a sensational performance against tough Dakari Scott. Guidry won a tough battle with Scott and sent him to the canvas at 2:01 of the 7th round to claim the NABA Gold Heavyweight title on June 11th, 2022, and that was also held at the Casino Miami Jai. NABA Welterweight Champion Tre'Sean Wiggins, 14-5-3, 8 knockouts out of Newburgh, New York, will defend his title against Nigel Fennell, 13-1, 8 knockouts out of San Diego. Wiggins thrilled fans of his last defense of his title, also at the Casino Miami Jai, as he knocked out Travis Castellon at 2:07 of the first round back on June 11th. WBA Continental America's middleweight champion Ian Green, 16-2, 11 knockouts out of Haledon, New Jersey, will defend his title against undefeated Alexander Castro, 11-0, 9 knockouts, and he's out of Colombia. Like Wiggins, Green was impressive on June 11th at Miami, winning a unanimous 10-round decision over Anthony Lenk. This will be Castro's first fight in the United States, by the way. Ahmed Abiali, 18-1-2, 10 knockouts out of Miami, Florida, via Cuba, will take on an opponent to be named in an 8-round light heavyweight bout. Another Miami product out of Cuba, Nelson Machado, will risk his 19-0 record with an 8-knockout record against Walter Santibanez, 11-2 out of Phoenix, Arizona, in a 10-round featherweight attraction. The first 2 bouts of the night will feature a super lightweight attraction between Reinel Medeiros, 7-0 out of Miami, via Cuba, against Nelson Morales from Scranton, Pennsylvania, via Dominican Republic. The other bout is a light heavyweight attraction, 6-rounder, to be announced at a later date. So we look forward to all those fights and those results coming in via Miami from Don King Promotions. Going at it hard these days. As featured by Mike Orr on Knuckle Up, I see Moses Atiamo and his brother Carol Atiamo are both fighting on the undercard of the Beterbiev versus Anthony Yarde fight coming up soon. World Youth Heavyweight Champion Moses Atiamo formally announced his professional debut today, that would be yesterday, when he met the media ahead of his big night on 28th of January at the OVO Arena in Wembley on the undercard of the unified world light heavyweight title showdown between Artur Beterbiev and Anthony Yarde. Atiamo, just turned 18, was confirmed as Queensberry's future heavyweight force with the signing of a long-term promotional agreement in the wake of his world championship triumph in November. He's the younger brother of elite light heavyweight prospect Carol Atiamo, who also won gold at the schools, juniors, and youth Europeans. Moses is a 2-time national champion and multi-nation box cup winner and was unbeaten in 24 fights as an amateur. He will now see action for the first time in the professional ranks on the same card as his unbeaten sibling, who will fight for his first title on the show. Said Atiamo, "It's been our dream since we were young, so it'll definitely be special. It'll be the best time of my life, really. Me and my brother boxing on the same show, especially with it being in London, which isn't too far from where we live. I came off COVID and not having any fights at all to having the most fights I've ever had, and now signing here makes it even better. I want to have around 8 fights this year. I want to be the youngest ever world heavyweight champion and beat Mike Tyson's record of 20 years ago, 4 months and 22 days. But who's counting? I've sparred with Lawrence Okoli, Joe Joyce, Anthony Joshua, and everyone on the British scene. More often than not, I've held my own. I'm very confident in my ability, and now I just want to see the difference between the pros and the amateurs. I want to be part of history, and when boxing is done for me, I want to be up there amongst the biggest names. The record is something I'm chasing down, but I won't be beating Mike Tyson's record if I don't win my pro debut. Well said, young man. So sitting alongside his younger brother at the BT Sports Studios was the former Olympic youth champion, Karol Itauma, who will bid to win a first title in the professional ranks when he goes up against Esquel Maderna. He's from Argentina, and they'll fight for the WBC International Light Heavyweight title, as I said, at the OVO Arena in Wembley. The classy 22-year-old will hit double figures as a pro in Northwest London, having built up a perfect 9-0 record to date, with 7 of the wins coming via stoppage. He has fought 4 times across 2022, and 2 of his fights took place on the Tyson Fury undercards at Wembley Stadium and at the Tottenham Hotspurs Stadium. Maderna, 28-10, 18 knockouts, not bad, has kept good company in the ring over the course of his 14-year professional career. He's a 4-time winner of the Argentinian super middleweight title and has made an unsuccessful challenge for the IBO world title back in 2013, losing on points to Thomas Oosthuizen. The now 36-year-old subsequently won the WBC Latino title in 2013 before taking on and suffering a 4th-round stoppage against then 9-0 Artur Beterbiev back in Montreal in mid-2016. And in that same year, though, he won the WBC Latino belt at light heavyweight by defeating Walter Seguera before returning to super middle and making an unsuccessful challenge for the WBA Continental title in Moscow against Fedor Chudanov. Like I've said all along, my coach does all the homework, and I just try to implement things in the ring, said Itauma, standing in the way of his first title triumph. He has mentioned that he is experienced, but that's what it takes to progress and move up the ladder. I need this kind of fight. I wouldn't say the title has made much difference to me in preparations because the prize is just a bonus and, if anything, a cherry on top. The fight is like any other fight. You go in there to come out victorious. The title is the extra thing, and sometimes you can think about it too much, which can bring pressure. So there's no point in thinking about it like that. I'm excited for it, though, and obviously I'm going to be there with my brother. It's crazy because during our whole amateur boxing career, we never boxed on the same night. So to be able to share a night together, whereas his debut and my first title shot, is very special. Good words from the Itauma brothers, and make sure you check out what Mike Orr had to say on his show, Knuckle Up, I believe either yesterday or the day before. Let's have a quick look here and see what else is going on. Oh, and yes. Big news out of Boxer. Fight fans in the U.S., Canada, and Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, and Japan can watch the epic all-British showdown clash between Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith taking place on Saturday, January 21st at the AO Arena in Manchester, live and exclusively on DAZN. This main event, in association with Wasserman Boxing, by the way, will lead the presentation from the Global Sports Entertainment platform and will be available to DAZN subscribers in all those countries. Fans in the UK and the Republic of Ireland can watch it on Boxer Unleashed live and exclusively on Sports Box Office. Liam Smith, 32-3 and 1. With 19 knockouts, heads into this mouth-watering clash in the form of his life following his big wins over Jesse Vargas, Anthony Fowler, and Roberto Garcia. The Liverpool man is determined to become a world champion for the second time, and a statement win over Eubank Jr. will kick off 2023 with a bang. Chris Eubank Jr., for his part, he's 32-2, 23 knockouts, needs no introduction. Son of legendary former world champion Chris Eubank, the 33-year-old has successfully carved out his own reputation in the sport and is seen as one of the leading middleweights in the world. His latest fight in February 2022 saw an impressive shutout points win over Liam Williams at the Motorpoint Arena in Cardiff. in which he showed his class by knocking down the Welshman 4 times. Boxer CEO and founder Ben Shalom said, "This is fantastic news. I'm delighted that fight fans in the US, Canada, and Japan, Germany, Austria, and Switzerland will be able to watch this blockbuster event live and exclusively on DAZN. The card is stacked with massive fights from top to bottom and brewing animosity between bitter rivals. Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith will reach boiling point in what promises to be an unmissable main event in front of a sold-out AO Arena in Manchester with the entire world watching." DAZN, by the way, are always looking to deliver the best boxing schedule to our subscribers, and we are proud to be showing this huge tilt between two of British finest fighters, said Joe Markowski, and he's the CEO of DAZN over North America. So good stuff indeed. Wasserman's head of global boxing, Kelly Sauerland, added, "It's fantastic that this mega fight will now have a global audience on DAZN. It's a fight that merits a global audience, and the eyeballs of the world will be seen on Manchester come next Saturday." Super good stuff, without a doubt. There's going to be other fighters: Rick Ripper, Krzysztof Glowacki, local lad Jack Massey. He's going to face WBO World Heavyweight Champ Joseph Parker. Former WBO World Heavyweight Champ Joseph Parker. And joining them on that blockbuster night of boxing will be Eka Usman and Chris Congo for the British and Commonwealth, IBF European, and WBC International Silver Championships. Oh, I might add that for GB fans, Team GB Tokyo 2020 hero Fraser Clark is back when he faces hard-hitting Argentine heavyweight Kevin Espinola. The South American fighter has never been stopped in 13 previous bouts, and the Olympic bronze medalist Clark will be determined to extend his flawless victory in the professional ranks with a big victory. Plus, Talkin fight favorite Maddie Harris is going up against Jury Samaj, and Scott Forrest is going up against Armine the Beast Bukata, and Frankie Stringer will be on the show as well in what promises to be an unforgettable start to 2023. And we certainly look forward to having our own Holly Donovan at that fight. And of course, look forward to the results. Fast rising super flyweight star and local fan favorite Daniel Chucky Barrera out of Riverside, California, will return to action on Friday, January 27th in a scheduled 4-rounder against debuting Victor Edward Hernandez Martin out of Laguna Beach, California, on the next 360 Promotions Hollywood Fight Nights event at the Quiet Cannon Montebello Country Club, live on UFC Fight Pass. Now, I'm going to assume that's weather notwithstanding, because they're having torrential downpours in California right now, mudslides, and all hell's breaking loose, quite frankly. So let's hope that all passes by January 27th and people are able to get out to the Montebello Country Club. Anyway, let's continue with the story. The 21-year-old Barrera, a sparring partner of boxing legend Roman Chocolito Gonzalez, hits the ring following a hotly contested 4-round majority draw against Isaac Aguilera on November 3rd back in 2022. "I wasn't happy with my last performance," he says. "I have superior boxing skills, but got caught up in a toe-to-toe war, which, while it was very crowd-pleasing, did not work completely to my advantage," said Barrera. "I've worked diligently in the gym the last 2 months and won't be making the same mistake again." Barrera is managed by Ray Chaparro, who has guided former world champion Andrew Cancio, in addition to former contender Daniel Franco. Prior to turning professional last year, Barrera compiled a sensational record of 64-5 as an amateur. And said Chaparro, "Chucky is a world-class talent who unfortunately got taken out of his game plan in his last fight. The judges were clearly scoring for the aggression from the opponent, although we didn't believe it was effective. We strongly believe Chucky is a future world champion and look forward to him putting on a great show for his huge fan base on January 27th. The event is headlined by a scheduled 10-round super welterweight clash between defending WBC Continental Americas champ Serhil El Flaco Bohachuk. He's 21-1, by the way, out of Ukraine, and top-rated challenger Nathaniel Nate the Great Gallimore. 22-6-1, by the way, 17 knockouts, fighting out of Chicago, Illinois. Apparently, it's a limited number of remaining tickets available. I do believe they're on talkinfight.com. Check out our website under the event section, and you'll find out if that is so. I'm pretty sure, though. And that, my friends, winds up another episode of Talkin' Fight here on Boxing News Today. Thank you very much for joining me. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And I'll see you later on at 4 p.m. for Knuckle Up with Mike Orr and Cedric Ben. Thank you.